Hey fish friends, this is Wally with Supreme Aquaria. When I started this channel about a year ago, I knew that I would do something different other than just showing off fish. And this is going to be a very, very different video. Have you ever wondered about feeding microworms and what are the best medias to use with microworms? We're going to find out in this video. I am a live food junkie. I tell you what, I spend more time with live foods than I probably do with the animals themselves, either from geckos to isopods to aquarium fish. I've always been fascinated with the different foods that you can feed your fish. Black worms, microworms, white worms, fruit flies, Daphnia. There's just so many different types of foods that you can feed. And the more different types of foods you can feed, the better your fish will be with them. I know you know the importance of microworms when feeding fry. But really, what's the best medium to raise them on? When I started researching, I took a look at these videos from my close friends in the fish family. David Ramsey is my go-to guy on feeding anything live.
Mashed potatoes. This happens to be something I picked up at Walmart. You can use.
Welcome everybody to Because You're Fish. My name's
Here's another great video.
I use quick oats. As you can see, they climb up the sides there, get on the lids a little bit.
What is up everyone, my name is Michael Pohl with BayAreaAquatics.com. You're also going to need potatoes or
all the
oats.
Links will be in the descriptions
I have
below.
cultures with both.
I'm Corey from Aquarium Co-op, but what you need to do
And I had to have
is
Corey
mashed
from
potatoes,
Aquarium Co-op.
like just mashed potatoes. You don't want it with salts and all that kind of stuff.
So the consensus is mashed potatoes or oatmeal. That's it? Really? Let's try some other types of medium. So we're going to start off with different types of mediums here, and I'll give the list right here. I set these up in these really small containers. I'm going to go ahead and open the containers every single day just to give them air circulation. You can put a hole and cotton or something in the tops to give that circulation. We start off with bread. I put the piece of bread in, I put some milk in there, but all of the other containers are going to have different mediums, and I'm going to put about a cup or so of the medium in there, and then I'll go ahead and add some water later. I mark every single cup just so that I can keep track of everything. And you can see that we're really using some different types of materials here. Some of these I have in our gecko facility to feed our feeders. Some I went out and purchased out of the store. Now I tell you what, I don't know how flour is going to work because it's such a dense material. I'm really interested to see how this cornmeal works though. Oops, made a little bit of a mess there. And of course we have to finish off with oats, and we'll bring out those mashed potatoes as well. Okay, we're all set. What I'm going to do now is add some water to each one. I already did the bread with the milk, but each one of these will just get some additional water. And I'm going to set it up to a consistency of about applesauce or so. It really varies. This isn't scientific whatsoever. I mix it up. I add a little bit more water to the mixture just to get it a little bit runnier. And again, each one of these mediums is going to be a little bit different. I'll go ahead and finish off the other containers off camera. And here we go. Here's the most important part of this. I'm going to take an old microworm culture that I've had going for probably about 6 months or so. Way too long. It's time to refresh my old microworm culture. And I'm going to use that culture into these other 9 different cultures. It's really important to feed these cultures as well. So we're using this baker's yeast. This is a great little flake food. It's super inexpensive, coming off of Amazon, and I'm going to put in about 1/4 teaspoon in each one. I'm going to take about a tablespoon of each culture and add it to the individual smaller cultures. Then I'm going to add the flake brewer's yeast on every single one of these cultures. And there we go. Everything looks good so far. And we wait. And yes, no, that's not me. Okay, let's check those cultures after 3 days. I'm going to show each and every one of them. You're going to be surprised at some, and you're probably going to find some of these cultures really not producing like you thought they would. Here's the very first one, and this is Gerber's rice, and it's doing okay. Nothing great, but it's not doing bad. Let's go ahead and check that Gerber's multigrain. This one looks like it's doing better. I can really see that culture going. Let's check the oats. This is what everybody is saying. You should use either mashed potatoes or oats. And I tell you what, to be honest, I don't really think it's taking off here at all. Let's try the flour. Now, I would be surprised if it was taking off on this, and you can see that the moisture, the water in the flour really has separated out. This would be a tough one to use. All right, you know what we have next? These are the mashed potatoes. And this is the one everybody says use. And it looks like it's going pretty good. The culture's going really well. And let's take a look at the bread. And I tell you what, the bread is really going to town here. I think that it's very successful after 3 days. And let's check the chick feed. This is the one that I think really might surprise people. I can see the culture is going crazy in here. This one might be the number one at the end of the show. Millet. What is millet? I have no idea what that is, but it looks like the culture is okay, but not taking off. Cornmeal, another one of my favorites. I really want to see what happens here. And again, you can see the culture is thriving in this mix. Cornmeal, so far, this is the one that's doing the best in my mind, I think. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. Do you use any of these cultures? Let's see. And the waiting game again, and it's still not me. Okay, let's check these cultures after 7 days. Now this is the big test. This is where we make the decision on the best one. And leave a comment down below which one you think won this test. Let's check that Gerber's multigrain. It looks like it's doing pretty good. Here's the flour. We were pretty much right. There's just nothing going on here whatsoever. Okay, now it's time for the oatmeal. How did it do? It doesn't look that great. The culture's really not taking off here. It's established, but it's not going to town. Mashed potatoes, I think the same thing. Mashed potatoes, it looks pretty good. And again, consistency of moisture might be something that I want to play around with a little bit in the future. Let's try that Gerber's rice. Uh-oh, here's a problem. We see some mold in this Gerber's rice. But I tell you what, the culture's going really well here. I'm kind of surprised at that, but that mold really has me concerned, so I'll take that mold out and see how it does after that. Here's the bread. In the bread, you can see that the culture's taking off. I don't see a whole lot of microworms on the side of the container, though, and I would really expect that. I think if I did this again, I'd put a couple of pieces of bread in, and I would add a little bit more milk. Let's take a look at that cornmeal. This is the one that I thought from the last review might be the one that takes off, and you can see that it's doing really well here. The culture's going to town. I see a little bit of mold. I'll have to take that off, but on the surface, the culture's doing the best from any of these so far. Millet, I still don't know what millet is, but it doesn't look like there's much activity in this medium. Here's the chick feed. Let's take a look at this. It looks like it's drying up a little bit, so if I were to do this over again, I would add a little bit more water to this mix, but I'm telling you, the culture is doing well here, and I can see some of the microworms on the sides. I think this would be a good option. So which one do you think won? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Here's my thoughts on which one I thought did best. And again, we have to play around a little bit with the moisture, how much water we add in the very beginning. But in my mind, bread did really, really well. Unexpectedly well. I didn't expect it to do as well as it did. The oatmeal and the mashed potatoes, I would say, didn't do as well as I thought they would. And again, maybe it's moisture, maybe not. The one that really stood out in my mind was that cornmeal. The cornmeal just went crazy. The chick feed did well, and I think if I added more water to that original recipe, I think that would do well. But that cornmeal, I'm convinced the cornmeal might be the way to go. And again, If you feed with the brewer's yeast and keep this culture going, I think in another week those microworms will be crawling up the sides and really going crazy. I'll see if that happens and I'll let you know. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm going to make more different videos like this. Make sure that you subscribe. We'll see you next video. Bye-bye.